So, welcome. We are here with GALE.
Hola.
Welcome. It's so great to talk to you today. So,
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for your time, and I'm excited to have this conversation with you.
thank you. I have this little blurb I'm going to read off real fast. So, our guest today is a singer, songwriter, musical powerhouse from the small yet proud nation of Puerto Rico, whose recent debut album, Que No Te Dije, has caused quite a stir among the rising Latina pop genre. Growing up in a household of love and music, my guest was always destined to perform, from writing their first single at age 7 to writing music for her idols like Christina Aguilera, just to name a few. She's earned countless accolades from high profile publications, a place on Rolling Stone's Rising Latina Artists to Watch Out For, a Grammy, and numerous live performance opportunities, such as a spot on this year's lineup for Lollapalooza Chile. It's the one and the only Kale.
Oh my God. Please. That intro was incredible. I usually forget all these things. It's not like I take it for granted, but like when you say them, I'm like, oh my God, I
I
did
know it's crazy. It's it's one of those things because you see an artist on the surface and you're like, okay, they're really cool. Oh, only one album. Okay, so they haven't been around for a while, and then you dig a little deeper and you're like, oh, they have a Grammy. Oh, what they have a Grammy? Oh, that's Shakira.
Oh my God, Shakira, yes. Wow. Yeah, when you put it that way, I am very grateful for everything. And it's been a long journey and I'm here for it.
Awesome, it's beautiful to watch. Now, my first question for you is first things first. How are you doing today? It's Grammys weekend. You're here in LA.
I love that. I am. I'm not actually attending to the Grammys. I love that show, by the way. Of course, I'll be watching. But yes, I'm here for Grammy week. I'm here doing sessions, just working because everyone's here and making the most of it and attending some events. And very excited to be here. The energy is great. And I love LA. So it's always happy to be here. I'm here with my friends too. Like we're all staying together and we're just like doing sessions every day.
Awesome.
No worries.
Thank you. So, you're here currently in LA just for this weekend, but you're currently based in Miami.
Yes,
And you're
I'm based in Miami.
based in Miami and originating from Puerto Rico.
Yes, my whole family is there. I grew up in Puerto Rico. And I feel like one of the hardest decisions that I've made is like just, move by myself to Miami right after college and, leaving my family behind. I'm very close with them, but they've always been very supportive and I feel like, you know, it takes a lot of sacrifices and just to get closer to your goals and to your dreams. So that's why I did it. And I'm happy I did it.
No, definitely. I think when I was researching your lore, you sold your old SUV just to help pay for crafting your first LP.
Oh my God, yes. And that's from the vault. That's like from even like yes, right? Before me officially moving to Miami, actually. Yeah, I did that because I think that's what you got to do. And those songs were very nice and very vulnerable and personal. Like I wrote all of them in my bedroom just with my guitar, so they're very also kind of folky but poppy.
Mm-hmm.
Someday I would like to create a version of these songs and just release them again
Mm,
for the OG Galleons.
for sure. Gotta go Taylor Swift mode for a little bit.
Yeah, perfect.
What year was that? Was that 2017 or 2018?
I mm, I think that was 2018. I think. Yeah,
Okay. So in
right
that
about that.
so in that 5 year span, a lot's changed. And even looking at it now, it hasn't been a year since your debut, but your last project has generated so much buzz for you and just everything around your name. So I wanted to ask you, what has changed within your personal life as well as your professional life following the success of this project?
Ooh, I don't know because I've always been, pretty driven and focused and disciplined, and there's not a lot of distractions that can actually make me go out my way. So I'm still the same in that sense. Like I'm just working hard every day, but I feel like something that has changed has been being less focused on what's next, the future, what I want, like this, I want this to happen, and trying to stay more grounded and focus on the right now and the present because this is all part of it and this is all part of the journey and it's pretty great when you get to acknowledge those things
Hmm.
and instead of just focusing on tomorrow. So I'm very grateful that I get to do what I do and also that I'm kind of more focused on right now in the
Okay,
process.
for sure. Would you say you're in a very comfortable spot right now?
No, never comfortable. I feel like if I'm comfortable, I'll just start to look for something that will make me kind of feel a bit uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
I am, um, yeah, just going. Too comfortable, it's not too good for me.
Yeah.
Even though I also love being in my comfort zone and like, but that's how I know I need to just move on and keep doing things.
No, for sure. Thank you for that. Now, speaking of not getting comfortable with how you're doing, so the debut was last year, and you've been around since as we established 2018. But to many of our listeners here for 88.5 FM Latin Alt Radio, I'm also very new to GALE and everything that you stand for. So. Reading through your previous interviews, it feels like there's a lot of questions that we're trying to get behind the music, but I want to give you the opportunity to give me a quick TLDR of like who you are and what do you think your music represents.
Oh, I love that. I'm all about what makes me happy and what is true and honest to myself. I love taking care of that rather than creating from a place of what's working, what's the trend. I love creating from a vulnerable, scary place because I feel like it's always scary to be vulnerable and just to, every time I write a song, I'm like, should I just say this? No, I shouldn't. And then I end up saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm all about that. Just staying true to yourself, choose yourself, put yourself first, and love and heartbreak because that
Yeah.
also it's awesome, like a lot of these songs. I just love crying. I would say I cry a little bit every day. So I'm just a very nostalgic person but also a very happy person, and that's literally how I am. So I guess that's represented in my music as well,
Mm-hmm. No, I can
like
definitely.
crying on the dance floor. But being happy and enjoying life.
No, I love it. Love that idea. I just imagine like you just like playing one of your like the album top closer and you're just like someone's like just like throwing down and you're just like crying the
Yeah,
entire time.
that's me.
That's funny. Now, getting to the meat and potatoes of what we're here to talk about today. Your most recent cover, Inevitable. Easily top 10 Shakira track and a great selection to cover from her overall catalog. So I want to ask you why this one specifically. Like what made you? Because I know you actually have a working relationship with Shakira. So
Yes.
what made you out of all of her songs? Like what made this one the one that you wanted to cover?
Oh my God. So this has been one of my favorite songs from like growing up, but also she's one of the artists that I've, most admire. And now that I get to call her my friend is the craziest thing ever. Um, but yeah, I used to just practice the performances like at my house when I was little, and I used to dress up and practice to her, also Christina Aguilera, also Britney, also Selena Quintanilla, Avril Lavigne. I used to just like perform and give it my all. And this song in particular, I always loved how vulnerable yet rock and roll it was. Um, kind of like that Alanis Morissette vibe that I love. Sorry. And and I had this opportunity comes up for me to like do a cover of an artist that I admire and respect, and I was like Shakira, and then I was like fuck, inevitable, because it's such a beautiful, vulnerable. so perfect song. And then what I wanted to do, and the challenge was to make it more me sounding, more like pop and right now. And I worked this version with Dallas Gay, the executive producer of my album Lo Que No Te Dije.
Hmm.
And it was so fun. And then at the end, we added a guitar solo played by one of our friends. His name is JM, super talented. And I just feel like it is a really cool version. I sent it to her, of course, before release.
Ooh.
She loved it. She loved it. She was like, I'm so honored. I can't believe this. This sounds amazing. And I'm like, thank God. Because I was dying. And I told her that, okay, good, because I was very nervous to show you. So yeah, I had her blessing. We put it out, and it's been doing great. I love that people are supporting this version. It's hard. It's a big responsibility to like do a cover of one of your heroes, and someone that is very respected and
Hmm.
by a lot of people.
Yeah, you mess up one note and you're gonna have like an army of stands on Twitter, like constantly hating on you.
Oh my God, exactly. And I was not even thinking about that. Thank God, because if not, I wouldn't even recorded the song.
For sure. I was reading up on how when you were younger, you used to perform a lot in like, your own household when like family would come over. Was like which was Inevitable one of the songs that you'd perform for your family?
Those that like the pop songs and all these artists and Shakira and all these artists that I love, still love to today.
Hmm.
I used to practice that by myself. It was like
Okay.
my moment. I mean, downstairs, I obviously had like the everything, like the place for myself. My parents were upstairs and doing stuff around the house in the weekend, and I'm like just working, right?
Hmm.
But the songs I used to perform as a a kid in front of my family were boleros, like
Mm.
old songs from amazing writers like Armando Manzanero, Pablo Milanés, Danny Rivera, Luis Miguel, like all these, like Juan Gabriel, like
Hmm.
all these songs, even Los Panchos, Los Condes, like Los Trios, right? Like
Hmm.
my dad is obsessed with that music. My dad is also a musician. He's very like bohemian and connected and nostalgic
Yeah.
and he plays guitar, piano, congas, percussion. He has a musical group that he
Hmm.
started in the 90s. They play in weddings and in birthdays and in activities and so yeah, he always made me sing when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 until my parents divorced, and then of course when I went to the weekends I had to perform. That was my thing, not by choice.
Yeah.
I was like I was like I was like, Papito, can I just play with my cousins? They're all running around the house. We're playing hide and seek, and he's like, just 3 songs. 3 songs. Remember, this is what you're gonna do when
Hmm.
you grow up. You need to practice now. And I'm like, okay. So I'm really glad that it didn't turn out to be a traumatic moment.
I was gonna
And
say
it is.
it could
I'm
definitely could have gone that route.
very grateful for him. I'm like, thank you,
Hmm.
because I now love it so much. And that music for me is pure nostalgia. Like I just, I hear it every Sunday of my life, and I'm like, okay, I love these songs, and I feel like it also inspired my lyrics in terms of like romantic and depth of, meaning in terms
Yeah.
of lyrics. So I'm very grateful for that moment in my life.
Yeah, you can really hear the ability to articulate like and capture the emotion and just what's going on like right then and there. Beautiful stuff. Thank you for sharing. I wanted to
Thank
ask you
you.
I wanted to ask you more. That's a very organic relationship of going from, performing this songwriter this person's music when you're like 8 years old to writing music with them. And your story is very interesting because I know that you grew up in a house full of, you mentioned your father was a musician and your grandfather was a musician too. And I know
Yes.
that you were also a theater kid and you also were involved with like
Yes.
performing very early on. So moving from Puerto Rico to Miami, how did like what were the right pieces that fell in place for you to get connected with Shakira?
Ooh, with Shakira, that came later. Because first I used to just like I'll be knocking on doors, publishing companies. I was like, okay, so how can I make my dreams come true? How can I become an artist, a solo artist? And then I was like, maybe I should just understand that maybe a part of my process will be to start writing with other artists and start kind of behind the scenes first. And that's what I did. I was like, how can I do this? I need a publishing deal. I might need to sign as a professional songwriter and get in sessions and build these relationships and create my reputation as a professional writer and then focus on my artistic career. And that's how I did it. And
Mhm.
that's why I did that. So I started knocking doors on publishing companies and showing them my demos that I used to perform in my aunt's closet, singing by myself with my guitar. And one of these publishers saw potential.
Mhm.
They were like, "We have a session tomorrow with Fanny Lou. Would you like to
Mm.
be a part of it?" And of course, inside, I'm like, hell no, are you kidding me? Like, I've never written with anyone. I only write by myself in my room. Like, there's no way I'm going to do that. That is so scary as fuck. And then I'm like, yes, of course, I would love that. That's why I did it. That's how I did it. And that song, she loved it and she cut it and then she put it out. But like, she wanted to keep working with me, Fanny Lou. And then that producer recommended me for other sessions. So it was a lot of word of mouth from that first
Okay.
session until I just built all these relationships. And then they called me. I signed my deal, everything's great. And they called me to be a part of a camp with Shakira in
Mm.
Miami. That's when I met her. We connected because, I don't know, we share a lot of similar things,
Mhm.
um, random similar things. And maybe she saw a little bit of herself in me. That's how the connection started.
Mhm.
And then she wanted me to go to Barcelona and write with her. And that's how we wrote Copa Vacía with Manuel
Okay.
Turizo.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
It's a very, very crazy series of events, but it's beautiful to know
Yeah.
that it could happen like organically.
Yeah. I tried to like, sum everything like 5 years in there, but it did happen like that.
Yeah, thank you for
Just
the
like working hard and taking yourself and your work very seriously.
for sure. Thank you for the TLDR. On a more fun side, so aside from inevitable, what would you say is the most underrated Shakira song?
Oh my God.
Like obviously
Uh
we know it's the song she did for Zootopia, but
Oof, there's this song in her album, I think El Dorado or Sale el Sol is in Sale el Sol, that album. That song, Sale el Sol, I love with my heart. But there's this song called Lo que más, que es Eres lo que más he querido en la vida, lo que más. It's a ballad and it's so good. And it's like a short song and it's a perfect song. And I feel like maybe that one. It was not a single, but I love that song.
so a good answer. A good answer. I would say un poco de amor.
Oh, I love that song. Come on. Buscando un poco de amor. It's so good. That's early Shakira, though.
Oh yeah, I think that was from the first album.
Yeah, Pies Descalzos,
Nice.
creo. Yeah.
Thank, thank you, thank you. Now moving on from there, you recently spoke about your preference. I was the video that that you did with, I think it was fishing for answers with the Billboard. You recently spoke to them on your preference for touring over recording. So I wanted to ask you, what has been your favorite live performance to date, and what has been your least favorite?
Oh my God. This is good. My manager would be very happy to have this clip because he's like, every time I say, like, I can't wait to tour all over the world and never stop, he's like, I need to record you saying that because touring is so hard and, and terrible. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't care. That's what I want to do until I'm 95. He's like, okay. So, yeah. But I guess it's my dream because
Mhm.
I'm just starting to do that and I understand it's hard and I understand I don't care. I'm willing to just Make it work. It's so fun. Like I did Juanes tour with him in Spain,
Oh, I heard
and
about
we
that.
did, yeah, it was so good. And I didn't sleep. I don't know why I couldn't sleep, and it was very hard because we're traveling from all these different cities, and the time, and it was, and I couldn't sleep, and the adrenaline kept me
Mhm.
going, and I understand that's hard. It's hard, and I felt it, but I loved it. I'm like, at the end, like going back to Miami, I'm like, I need a break. And imagine like doing it for a whole year, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
But I'll find a way to sleep or make it work. I don't know why I couldn't, like it was hard.
Mhm.
Um, but and also the excitement. There was this show at the end of this tour. No, wait. So I performed not with Juanes, but by myself
Mhm.
in Madrid in El Coca-Cola Music Experience, a
Mhm.
festival. It was amazing because the people there are really great. Even like without them knowing you, they're very supportive.
Mhm.
But also, I spotted a couple of Galleons in the crowd
Ooh.
holding pancartas, and they were saying, Gale, we love you, and your album Lo Que No Te Dije saved our lives. Thank
Aw.
you. And I almost died because that was the first time I see that,
Mhm.
performing. So when I finished my set, they were waiting for me, and I hugged them. I met them. They gave those pancartas to me, and I still have them. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. And then the other one was like a wordplay of the different titles of my song, kind of like a poem, but using the titles of my songs. It was so good. Um, so yeah, that was very special. But also the last day of that tour with Juanes, opening for Juanes was also very special because the people already knew my songs and they were
Mhm.
singing along. And that was also the first time that I was like, I'm trying to think of the worst show.
Like I imagine it was probably like really early on in your career.
Yeah, I have one. Um, yeah, but this was wow. I was like in college and I performed at a festival in Puerto Rico. It was like a sangria festival, and I was like the music
Yeah.
act. And I went full band, like drums,
Mhm.
bass, guitar. And I think it was the worst show I've performed, but because I couldn't hear myself, that we didn't have in ears. We had the monitors on the floor, but
Yeah.
it didn't work. So when you can't hear yourself, you're singing whatever. Like you might be singing off key, which is what happened to me, or you might be singing like later on, like a delay in the music, and you don't know what's happening, but when it comes out, people can hear it.
Yeah.
You know? So when I saw those videos, oh my God, I was like, this is very bad.
Mhm.
My mom gave me a lot of support. She's like, you know what? I thought it was great. Like no one can tell. Like no one is a musician. You are. You're in your head. Like you thinking. I'm like, okay, thank you, mom. I love you so much, but this was very bad, and I cried just because I was singing off key the
Yeah.
whole song, the whole time. So that's fine. That's technical problems. We will always have those in
Mhm.
some ways. But yeah,
Man.
maybe those.
No, no, that definitely sounds like it would make me annoyed. I know most people are really get really like weirded out when they hear their own voice. So I imagine like as a singer hearing your voice like off pitch the entire time is probably like
It's the
yeah.
off pitch situation because I actually don't mind hearing myself. Maybe speaking, it's
Mhm.
a little like, oh, but like singing, I like it, which I also feel is strange for singers when they're here, just like, no, turn it up. I'm like,
Turn
I
it
sound great. Turn
up.
it up. That was a good performance.
That's fun. I'm gonna move on to our next one. So I have this fun question I wanted to ask you. I think the most fun, like not random because it's very common, but just like oh I wasn't expecting that kind of fun fact I got when researching was that you are a retired theater kid.
Yes,
Yeah, I know you were
I
doing a lot
did.
of productions back in college.
Yes, I was in college and I did this was like separate from college, like
Hmm.
from in Puerto Rico they well they still do. this like awesome productions. And I was just like in college, but also part of
Mm-hmm.
the Black Box Theater Workshop from Miguel Rosa,
Mm.
and also separately from that, other amazing producers and directors like Gil Rene,
Mm-hmm.
who's a freaking legend in Puerto Rico. And I used to do theater, and I loved it. I did Spring Awakening. I did Rent. I did Viva Julia de Burgos. Like I did a couple different musicals, and it was really nice. It was really nice. I had to like put a stop because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to just focus on my music career, and I knew I wanted to move to Miami and do all these
Mm-hmm.
things. And I was like, okay, I need to like focus here if I want to do one thing really good, and that's
Sure.
what I did.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you. So since you're in a spot that you're not comfortable, but you are constantly putting up more projects and you're always keeping busy. So I wanted to ask, do you see yourself returning back to this medium? And if so, what can you see? What would you want to see yourself playing in the future?
Oh, oh my God. I definitely could see myself. You know what I would like to
Mhm.
experience? Movies, film.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that is something that, because I am a film lover, like that's also my passion, and also directing and stuff. But like, I would like to get more into that. But I would like, that's a goal that I have later on because I'm so focused right now with my music. I would love to be a part of film, of movies.
Oh
That
wow.
would be so cool.
Okay, someone's got to talk to Shakira to get you over there at Warner Brothers.
Perfect.
Now, I'm going to move on to my second to last question just because we're almost out of time. So, it hasn't been a full year since you released your project, but that hasn't stopped any of the momentum you've had, obviously. So, and in that time, not only have you dropped the inevitable cover, but you've also dropped a very high quality video for the single movie with Bruises.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you if you can tell me more about what came together to make to make the movie happen.
Oh, that was so fun. I was in Ciudad de Mexico just doing promo for a whole week, and
Mm-hmm.
we did a session together. I was doing promo every day, and then at night, a session, different sessions, different sessions. And I did one session with her, and we wrote movie. And I just fell in love with how she is and her persona and her character and her artist project, and we connected, and yeah, we did this song um called Movie, which is an empowering song about putting yourself first and understand that you're the lead of your life,
Yeah.
right? And do not let anyone bring you down or tell you otherwise. So it's very fun. It's also very reminiscent of what I used to listen to when I was a teenager, like that
Mhm.
punk pop. And it's definitely more pop, but yeah, it was such a fun song to create, and I'm so happy that we did it together. And hopefully we get to perform together maybe at one of the festivals that I have in Mexico. Let's see.
Ooh, fingers
Putting it out
crossed.
there.
Fingers crossed. If you guys are performing in Mexico City, please let me know. I got family out there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's go. And we can eat some churros in El Moro porque those are the best churros that I've
Mm.
tried in my life. I love them. And taquitos al pastor.
I'm about to have lunch after this, please.
I am a foodie.
Love to hear it. Now, my final question for you. This album is not even a year old. It's still going strong, still very fresh to the ears. You already have a few videos down the line to kind of promote it. I just watched the one for I think it's D-Pick last night. It's a little older,
Did
but
you like it?
it was funny. I really like it goes perfectly with the song. And with movie and with inevitable, you're just on such a high you're high right now. So I wanted to ask you, what comes next?
Wow, what comes next?
Or if there's anything you would like to promote or
Yes. I have to tell you that I'm already working on my next album,
Ooh.
and it's so cool, and it's so like power, fire, independence, sexy, pop, 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 edgy. Oh, it's gonna be so good. I'm so happy. I can't wait to put out my next single.
Mhm.
Um, But also, I have a little festival tour this
Mm.
upcoming pronto. Like I
Yes.
start February 10th in Costa Rica, and then February 18th, I'm going to perform in Vibra Urbana in Miami.
Hmm.
And then I have Lollapalooza Chile, Lollapalooza Argentina. Also be performing in Monterrey and Pal Norte,
Hmm.
and another one that I can't remember right now, but we just need to like stay in touch because all of these dates are important because I'm doing a new show and I'm just so proud of this new show. And I can't wait to connect with everyone.
The new show?
Yes. Yeah, I'm working on a new show. I'm rehearsing next week. I have new visuals. I have really cool musicians with me, intimate moments in the show. And I'm so excited and looking forward to it.
No, I'm excited for you. You sound very passionate about it.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited too.
Awesome. Now, obviously, there's no poster of like it's not a Gale tour, but it's a lot of different stops at a lot of different places. So, for all our listeners watching right now, so if you want to stay ahead of the game and know where you can see our favorite little performer, you can catch up on her Instagram, Gale. So just GALE, easiest Instagram handle in the world. Keep up to date with all of our upcoming tour dates, as well as keep up on our website. Now, Gale, thank you so much for talking to me today. This was a very fun conversation.
I loved our conversation. Thank you for your time. Great questions. I had so much fun. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
No, thank you. You sign off. Or, I'm sorry, signing off now. You take care. You take care, okay?
You too.